Well, folks, we're back now. So I told you a little while ago I wanted to do another blogging video because I wanted to talk to you all about something. So 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 my 35th birthday is coming up. So my thir- so my 35th birthday is coming up in less than a couple months, another month, little more than another month and a half. And I've told you in at least one or a couple of my videos that the past several years I've usually tried to do stuff like go, going to U.S. side of Niagara Falls, at least for the day. Well, that's how we did it last year. We just went just for the day. There has been some years when we've gone and spent the night, actually. Last year, we just ended up going and just spending the day, and that's probably how we'll end up doing it again this year. Um, Now, however, um, those of you that are from here in Rochester, I'm sure a good bit of you have definitely taken an interest ever since it had been built going to Del Lago Casino and Resort and stuff. And we've been there now 3 different times so far. And I mean, I was thinking maybe that would be another option. Now, this would be now um, uh, this place would definitely be quite a bit of a longer ride than Niagara Falls would be. I'm sure some of you have definitely taken an interest here and there every once in a while or once in a blue moon, and like going to places like Turning Stone Casino and Resort. We've been there now about 4 different times so far. We actually two years ago we actually ended up doing a bus trip there 2 years 2 years ago and stuff. Um, uh, and so we were pretty much gone all day, and it was cool. It was fun. It was interesting. It was cool. And so I had sort of gotten my mom's advice on stuff, and my mom had said, well, talk to your management like maybe perhaps sometime today on your way out for work, which I did do, and get their opinions on doing like Turning Stone if you wish to do that. And so I did kind of briefly talk with them a little bit about it, and they said to them it should, if I had decided I did even want to do Turning Stone, they said it probably should be okay. It probably should be okay for this situation. Um, Chances are I'd probably just stick with going to U.S. side of Niagara. Where there's definitely a lot more going on. Turning Stone's not a bad place by any means. It's just definitely plenty going on while there, but it is kind of more in the middle of nowhere. Where Seneca, Niagara, and stuff, and all of Niagara Falls, there's a whole lot more going on. So I'd like maybe for you all, I'd like for maybe at least one of you or a couple of you, even a few of you, to maybe leave down in the comments section what your suggestions and your recommendations would be. Whether you would suggest that I do Del Lago, that I go with doing Del Lago, Turning Stone Casino, or just do what I've been doing the past several years, U.S. side of Niagara Falls for this year's 35th birthday celebration and tradition. I'd like you all to I'd like at least one of you, or maybe a couple of you, even maybe a few of you, to leave down in the comments section your recommendations on what you all would suggest. You know, because U.S. side of Niagara has definitely been the biggest thing. Um, the past several years for birthday celebrations, including last year. You know, um, I know Del Lago could be another option. And again, our management here this morning sounds as of now like they are ultimately giving us the okay. If we even decide we even want to do Turning Stone Casino, uh, Turning Turning Stone Casino for the day for this year's 35th birthday celebration, you know. Um, so, I know I probably want to have my mind and decision made up pretty soon. It's now the middle of October. It's now the middle of October 2019. So it's probably in best interest for me to make up my mind and make my decision, make my choice soon. Um, so again, I'd like at least one of you, maybe even a couple of you, or even a few of you to leave down in the comments section what your suggestions or recommendations would be, whether whether you whether you would recommend and suggest doing Del Lago, or if you'd recommend and suggest doing Turning Stone Casino, or whether you would recommend and suggest doing U.S. side of Niagara Falls. Um, uh, it it definitely would help a good bit, to kind of get some of your advice on that. You know, you know, because well, the only thing that made me think about Turning Stone was a couple of people currently on my Facebook friend list. When I went on the Facebook worldwide Facebook page and stuff, I had seen this past weekend that a couple of people currently, a, a, a couple, a, a, a couple people currently on my Facebook friend list. I had seen an indication that they ended up going to Turning Stone Casino and Resort for a good part of the day. So that's the main thing that sparked me kind of having the idea of Turning Stone Casino as perhaps an option for this year's birthday celebration. But I mean, again, I know my mom ultimately, you know, would mainly suggest U.S. side of Niagara Falls, because again, that's where a lot of the action usually is. Again, Seneca Niagara Casino and Resort, then a bunch of the other souvenir gift shops, Hard Rock Hard Rock Cafe, and then going and looking at and viewing the falls and stuff. I mean, Del Lago, you just got the slot machines and gift shop, couple gift shop, couple gift shops, then certain places to grab a bite to eat and stuff whenever, whenever you wish. Turning Stone definitely has a little bit more to offer. It's got plenty of slot machines, table games and stuff, bingo games, and you know, quite a couple to a few good souvenir gift shops and stuff, and quite a few quite quite a few quite, quite a few quite, quite a quite a few quite a quite a few places to grab a bite to eat whenever you wish and stuff. It's just that with both Del Lago and Turning Stone Casino, all the rest of the all the rest of the surrounding area, you know, it's you know those two places are definitely a little bit more in the middle of nowhere. Are a little bit more in the middle of nowhere. So, in the middle in the middle of in the middle in the middle of nowhere. In in the in the middle in the middle of no in the middle of nowhere. So, Niagara Falls, U.S. side of Niagara Falls would have a good bit more stuff going on. You know, of course, I already got at least one 2020 Niagara Falls calendar, and I got just one for this year that we're almost finishing up, 2019. And so as long as I have at least one 2020 Niagara Falls calendar, I guess that's fair. I I I, I guess that's I I I guess that's I guess that's fair enough. I guess that's fair enough. You know, so you know the fact that Niagara Falls, U.S. side of Niagara Falls, has been tradition for the past several past several years for birthday and stuff. That would be the main thing that would stick out in anybody's in anybody in anybody's in anybody's mind, including mine and my mom's and company. You know, the fact that we know that Del Lago, the relatively new Del Lago, being another option, and then now we pretty much, at least for right now, ultimately gotten the okay to, if we even wish to decide to land on doing Turning Stone Casino this year for birthday celebration. Ultimately for right now, ultimately ultimately for right now, given the okay, you know, have for right now at least been given the okay, been given been given the been given the okay to maybe give that a shot if we wish. So it's going to be a little easy to have some indecisiveness. So once again, that's why I'd like at least one of you, maybe even a couple of you, or even a few of you, to leave down in the comments section whether you would suggest doing whether you would suggest and recommend more so doing Del Lago Casino and Resort for a good part of the day, or whether you would suggest and recommend doing Turning Stone Casino and Resort for a good part of the day for this year's birthday celebration, or whether you would suggest and recommend that just stick with doing what we've been doing the past several years for birthday. U.S. side of Niagara Falls. U.S. side of Niagara Falls. It would definitely be a good bit of help, you know, and I would greatly appreciate that. So, um, I don't know if this video is going to get cut off, but one last quick look, as it's slowly getting dark, of this last little bit of gorgeous weather.